This was the scene on October 8, 1983, a full year after I first heard about this 1956 Golden Hawk that was for sale. I had been looking for one like this, and as luck would have it, I found this one located about 20 miles from my home. It took about a year to the day before I could finally close the deal with the owner who bought the car used in 1961. He last drove it in 1968, and it sat for the next 15 years. It took us about 6 hours to get the car out of the garage, as there were many obstacles, including a 1,000-pound I-beam blocking the exit. This was the first time in 15 years that the car was outside. We pulled it out with a 1953 Dodge pickup, and while we waited for the tow truck to arrive, we began tinkering with the points, rotor, and distributor cap. We then hooked up a fuel line from the gas can to the carburetor, and using a battery supplied through the lawnmower, we got it started in less than 15 minutes, this after sitting for more than 15 years. The next morning, I began taking a closer look at the somewhat less than perfect hulk in my driveway and wondered what I had gotten myself into. I had never restored an old car before, and in the morning light, the task seemed daunting. That's me standing beside my new project. It looks like I'm smiling, but I'm really thinking that I'll soon be getting a nasty letter from the Homeowners Association. My brother-in-law, Ed, agreed that I must be crazy, but still offered to rebuild the brake system. Two things I learned from this experience were that I needed more tools and lots of hand cleaner. My plan was to take as many body panels off and have them dipped in an acid tank to strip and de-rust them. There was a place about 12 miles away that did this process. Once I finished the hood and the lower air panel, I reassessed my plan and decided that stripping and de-rusting each panel was beyond my capabilities. After redoing the suspension, exhaust, and rebuilding the engine and transmission, it was time to start on some serious body work in preparation for painting. I removed all the side trim and brought the car to the body shop for further preparation. The fins were removed and the car was stripped to bare metal. Additional minor rust repair had to be done, and the shop owner said it would be done in 6 weeks. He wasn't too far off, as the whole process took about 3 months. We were heading into the final stages, and each day the car looked a little better. Still no beauty, but at least it was all one even color, gray primer. In February of 1988, the car was moved into the paint booth, and the two-tone paint of mocha and doeskin was applied. We used regular enamel with a thinner and hardener, the same original paint that was used at the factory. Finally, I got the call to come in and pick up the car. Even though it didn't have any of the trim on it, the difference between this and the previous day was striking, and the single most noticeable improvement. Remember this photo from when I first brought the car home in 1983? I do, and I also remember all the apprehension I had when I first gazed on the car. But I learned that in addition to a very understanding spouse, time, patience, perseverance, and lots of money are all you need to restore a car. The last item, money, was the hardest part, as the money train traveled in only one direction, outward bound. I discovered early on that I was afflicted with a process called diarrhea of the wallet. But the finished product made it all worthwhile, and all the setbacks I encountered along the way are just a distant memory. I've had a great time driving this car and made a lot of friends along the way. Those are two things I can't put a price on. In the October 1996 issue, this car was featured on the back cover of the Studebaker Drivers Club's award-winning magazine called Turning Wheels. I had seen many cars grace the cover of TW, as we like to call it, and it was quite a thrill to see this one make the grade. The car is also on the cover of the 1956 Studebaker Golden Hawk body and chassis parts catalog. The catalog was developed in cooperation with the 1956 Studebaker Golden Hawk Owner's Register and contains every part number that was used on this particular year and model. In February 1989, we took part in a benefit for the Arnold Palmer Hospital for Women and Children. As you can see, there are lots of admirers, and oh yes, the Golden Hawk gets an occasional admiring glance also. If you've been procrastinating with your project, I hope this video will provide a little inspiration to get it in gear and get it done. I never thought I could do it, and I don't want to do another one, but this video is proof that it can be done.